protect your capital. Is mine number one. Really number 1A, right? I mean, you go listen to that show, but you have to protect your cash because getting access to cash is going to get harder and harder if things keep going the way I think they are.
That's true. I would say if you don't have a small business line of credit right now, go get one right now.
Yes. Not a loan.
No
line of credit. No, you don't get charged for unless you have to use it.
Unless you tap into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of resources out there for financing now. These, Cabbage, PayPal, even eBay does loans. And those loans are high interest rate loans. You're much better off if you can go to a traditional bank. You may not be able to. But you want to try to get a line of credit, or maybe you've got enough equity in a piece of property or your own home that you can get a HELOC, a home equity line of credit.
I would think of that as sort of I don't want to say last resort, but not the first. You don't have to. I would go.
Yeah. You want to try to get your bank to loan you money based on your own performance and history and your relationship with them, and whether they ask for a personal guarantee or not. That depends on those three things. But I mean, I've used HELOCs many times, and as long as you're smart about the way you manage it, it can be a great resource at a very low price point. Another trick, another trick is if you already have a line of credit and you're thinking, okay, wow, maybe you need to ask for an increase, right? But maybe your bank's not comfortable doing an increase. But one of the things you can suggest is, hey, let's say you have a $500,000 line of credit and you're $150,000 or $200,000 into it. Go to your bank and ask them to term out that current debt. So let's say you're 150 grand into it. Say, look, can we convert the 150 into a 5-year term loan? And we'll just deduct an automatic deduction from our bank account every month and free up that 150,000 from your $500,000 line of credit. So in essence, you're getting that increase, but the bank is often more comfortable terming out the loan. They love that residual income. It looks better on their books. They've just sold you another product, right? So your relationship person at the bank is going to get a little something extra. And you've kind of snuck in and gotten but you've gotten an increase in your credit line.
That's really, I like that trick. I mean,
it works. I've done it a few times.
Yeah. Huh. Because if you've already been paying out on it, the bank knows you're good for it. Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and term loans are cheap. I mean, like if for $150,000, I mean, it's not going to cost you very much money per month in the grand scheme of things. And, I would argue you're not even going to notice it. It's just going to come out of your bank each month. Yeah. And the first time I had this, I had a company with the line of credit, and it wasn't my idea. It was the banks. They were like, hey, because typically banks want you to have 30 days each year where you're out of your line of credit, where the credit line is paid off. And often the first way you do this the first year is you don't touch it for 30 days, just in case. And then you start going in and out. But then the second and, subsequent years, the bank likes to look and say, you were able to pay it down at least for 30 days out of the year where it was at zero.
I never knew that trick. Oh, that's a metric they look at. Okay.
Always. Yeah. 30 days. Have you been out a month? Did you pay it off? And I don't think it has to be sequential, but adds up to, was there a month of time during the year where you were at zero? It shows the health of your business.
Well,
right?
Yeah, it shows that you're not just like scrambling to stay, half afloat. You can get
you're not
there.
living on your credit line.
You
can't live on that credit line. It's for specific things, emergencies, opportunities, inventory, whatever, expansion. And so that bank came to me and said, you can't keep 30 days out. We want to term loan this, and then we'll let you have your credit line back. And I said, okay. And then I've done it a few times, and it's worked really well. Huh. Try that if you need it.
So. Oh yeah, and is there looking, and I realize this is a good problem to have, but looking at the reverse of it, if you've had a credit line and never used it, is there a recommendation to use it once a year for something?
Yes. Yeah, because if you don't need it, they're going to come take it.
Yeah.
I mean, that credit card companies do that. We've done shows all about how you build up these large amounts you can put on those affinity credit cards to build up points and all that kind of stuff. Well, especially like with American Express, if you're not tapping that card all the time, they're just going to lower your credit line.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you don't need a $50,000 credit line on your Amex, but if you're in and out of it all the time, then you would, and then maybe you can increase it. So, and don't forget those credit cards. If Amex has some really creative business cards. They have a Plum card that you can either pay off in 30 days and get a 2% cash back reward. Actually, I think it's 1.5 now. It was 2% when we did it.
Of course.
But yeah. Or if you need more time to pay, they'll give you 60 days interest free. So you get to decide, and it's a great card. There's no limit. It's only based on your ability to pay it back. And it's great. Comes in handy. So different ways to get those credit lines and creative ways to manage them.
Huh. I like that. I like the idea of that card. All right. And that's a business card that you're able to do that. That Plum card is
it's called a Plum card. They still have it. And I still have one. I don't use it as much as I used to, but I'm sure my lines dropped a lot, but it is handy. And we used it for big inventory purchases because you wanted to get that 2% cash back.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.